Before the dinosaurs ruled the land, before the first roar ever echoed across Earth, the oceans were already alive, and they were far more terrifying than you can imagine. 500 million years ago, Earth's seas were filled with creatures that looked like nightmares, alien predators with jaws that rotated, bodies covered in spikes, and eyes that saw in every direction. This was the age before dinosaurs, when the sea was the stage of the first monsters. Today, we're diving back 500 million years to uncover the top 10 most mysterious and deadly creatures of the prehistoric ocean. So stay till the end, because the #1 creature on this list, something that redefined life on Earth forever. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from, and what time is it for you? And if you love mysterious creatures and the history of our planet, make sure you subscribe, because what's coming next will leave you speechless. Number 10. Hallucigenia, nature's experiment gone wrong. Our journey begins with one of the strangest creatures to ever exist, Hallucigenia, discovered in the Burgess Shale of Canada. This tiny worm-like animal lived about 500 million years ago. It was no longer than your fingernail, yet it looked like something from another world. Its body was covered in needle-like spikes. Its head and tail were hard to tell apart, and scientists spent years trying to figure out which side was up. At first, they thought it walked on its spines. Later, they realized those legs were actually flexible tentacles it used to crawl. No one knows exactly how it ate, but its design suggests it was a survivor, using confusion as its defense in a world full of predators. Being weird was a survival tactic, and Hallucigenia was proof that evolution was experimenting, testing every possible form of life. Number 9. Opabenia, the five-eyed hunter riff. Aliens existed in Earth's ancient past. They would have looked like Opabenia, with 5 eyes on its head and a long, flexible trunk ending in a claw. This creature looked like a mistake of nature, but in reality, it was one of the first stealth hunters on Earth. It used its trunk to reach into burrows and pull out hidden prey, then pass them into a backward-facing mouth underneath. Its body, imagine being a small worm crawling along the seabed. Suddenly, a trunk with claws grabs you from the sand and drags you into the dark. That was Opabenia's world. It lived about 505 million years ago, long before sharks, before fish, before bones even existed. Its bizarre shape was a sign that evolution was still learning, still trying to build the first predators of Earth. Number 8. Anomalocaris, the first super predator. Every era needs a king, and in the Cambrian seas, it was Anomalocaris. This creature was the ocean's first apex predator, a giant for its time, growing up to 3 feet long, with 2 massive claws used to snatch its prey, and a circular, toothed mouth that crushed anything it caught. It hunted trilobites, the armored insects of the sea, tearing through their shells with brutal precision. Its name means abnormal shrimp, because early scientists couldn't believe its fossils belonged to one creature. They thought its mouth, body, and claws were from 3 different species. But when they realized the truth, it changed everything. Anomalocaris wasn't just a monster, it was the blueprint for all future hunters. It showed evolution how to design a predator, and in the ancient ocean, nothing could escape it. Number 7. Trilobites, the first masters of survival. While predators ruled above, the trilobites ruled below. They were small, armored creatures, the ancestors of modern crabs and insects, and they appeared around 521 million years ago. What made them remarkable wasn't just their design, but their intelligence. Trilobites had compound eyes, like those of modern flies, and some species could even sense movement and light deep underwater. They were scavengers, survivors, and evolution's first true engineers. They learned how to burrow, curl into balls for defense, and even camouflage themselves in the sand. Over millions of years, trilobites adapted to every ocean on Earth. When predators evolved, they evolved tougher shells. When climates changed, they changed with them. They survived longer than the dinosaurs, almost 270 million years. Proof that sometimes survival isn't about strength. It's about adapting faster than the world changes. Number 6. Wiwaxia, the living fortress. Our last creature for part 1 is a forgotten relic of armor and survival. It lived around 505 million years ago, and it looked like a moving pine cone covered in metallic scales and spikes. Its entire body was coated in tiny armor plates, while long defensive spines stuck out of its back like the quills of a porcupine. Wiwaxia wasn't built to hunt, it was built to endure. Predators like Yamelocaris couldn't bite through its shell, and its spines made it nearly impossible to swallow. It grazed peacefully on the seafloor, feeding on algae and soft coral. But when threatened, it simply tucked in and waited out the danger. Waxia shows us something incredible, that even in a world filled with monsters, nature was already learning the art of defense. These were the pioneers of life, creatures from a time before giants, when the sea itself was the laboratory of evolution. But this was only the beginning. In part 2, we'll go even deeper to meet the first creatures with jaws, the rise of the sea scorpions, and the moment when life dared to leave the ocean and step onto land. Because before the dinosaurs, the ocean had already seen empires rise and fall. If you enjoyed this dive into the world before dinosaurs, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next chapter, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is for you. The ocean remembers its past, and you've only just seen the beginning. Number 5. Eurypterus, the sea scorpion. Long before sharks evolved, before anything with a backbone dared to rule the ocean, there was Eurypterus, the ancient sea scorpion. It measured over 2 meters long, with claws sharp enough to tear through armor like shells. But here's the real shocker. Eurypterus wasn't a fish, it was an arthropod, more closely related to spiders and crabs. Its segmented tail ended with a venomous spine, and scientists believe it ambushed prey, just like modern scorpions, grabbing, injecting, and devouring. What made it even more terrifying? It could walk onto land. Yes, Eurypterus could use its jointed limbs to crawl out of the sea, making it one of the first marine predators, capable of invading the shoreline. Imagine standing by the ancient coast 430 million years ago and seeing a massive armored scorpion slowly drag itself from the water. That was the dawn of monsters learning to conquer both worlds. Number 4. Tiktaalik, the fish that walked around 375 million years ago. An evolutionary revolution was brewing. The seas had grown crowded with predators and survivors, but one creature changed everything. It looked like a cross between a crocodile and a fish, a flat head, scales covering its body, but with primitive wrists hidden inside its fins. Tiktaalik could push itself up on land, breathe air, and peek above the surface. To most eyes, it might not seem terrifying, but its existence was the beginning of something enormous. The transition from sea to land animals. Every reptile, mammal, bird, and even us trace our origins back to creatures like Tiktaalik. Without it, dinosaurs would never have walked the earth, and neither would humans. Its discovery in 2004 shocked scientists. It wasn't just a missing link, it was the bridge, a silent, slimy pioneer that looked at the endless ocean and dared to crawl beyond it. Number 3. Dunkleosteus, the armored terror. Now we enter an age of giants, the Devonian period, about 360 million years ago, and here ruled Dunkleosteus, a predator so fierce it could crush bone like butter. It was an enormous armored fish, nearly 30 feet long, with a skull of metal-like bone plates that worked as a guillotine. Its bite force was estimated at over 11,000 pounds per square inch, enough to snap a great white shark in half. But there's something even more horrifying. Dunkleosteus had no teeth. Instead, it had 2 bony blades that sheared through flesh like swords. Each bite sliced prey in 2, spilling blood into the ancient seas. No creature dared to challenge it. Even other armored fish stayed far away. For millions of years, Dunkleosteus was nature's perfect killing machine, a prehistoric reminder that evolution always rewards brutality. But as powerful as it was, its reign didn't last forever. When oceans changed, oxygen levels dropped, and ecosystems collapsed, the mighty predator vanished, leaving behind only fossils and fear. Number 2. Anomalocaris, the alien of the deep. Now, let's go back even further, to the Cambrian explosion. Over 520 million years ago, this was the birth of complex life, and among the strange, soft-bodied organisms that swam the seas, one creature ruled them all. It looked like nothing you can imagine. A segmented body, large eyes with thousands of lenses, and 2 massive arms like claws. It hunted trilobites, using those appendages to grab and crush them with terrifying precision. In a world without vertebrates, Anomalocaris was the apex predator, the first true super hunter in Earth's history. But what makes it haunting isn't just its power, it's how alien it looked. Early scientists even thought its fossils belonged to multiple species because they couldn't believe one creature could look that strange. Think about that, the ocean before dinosaurs wasn't just full of monsters, it was full of creatures that rewrote the definition of life itself. Number 1. Opabenia, the creature that shouldn't exist. Now, number 1. A being so bizarre that when it was first revealed, scientists laughed at it. They thought it had to be a joke. Meet Opabenia, the creature that defies every rule of biology. It was tiny, only a few inches long, but its design was straight out of a nightmare. Had 5 eyes, yes, 5, and a long, flexible trunk with a claw at the end. It used that claw to grab food and pass it to its mouth, hidden underneath its body. In an ocean already full of bizarre forms, Opabenia still stood out. It didn't just look alien, it looked impossible. But here's the truth, it was real. It swam the Cambrian seas 505 million years ago, thriving in a world where everything was still experimenting with form and function. It was proof that life didn't always follow rules, it invented them. And maybe that's the lesson of the ancient ocean. Before dinosaurs, before humans, before anything we recognize, life itself was wild, unrestrained, and fearless. The sea wasn't just a cradle of creation, it was a playground for evolution, where every shape, every idea, every experiment came alive. The ocean before dinosaurs wasn't a quiet place. It was chaos. It was where monsters rose, ruled, and vanished, long before the first dinosaur ever took a breath. And we've only scratched the surface. If you haven't seen part 1, you're missing the rise of creatures that started it all. And if you've watched both, you already know this is just the beginning of a much bigger story. Because what came after these ancient seas would change Earth forever. Tell me, where are you watching from? And what time is it for you right now? And if you love exploring the world before time, make sure you subscribe and join me for the next deep dive into the mysteries of our planet's past. You won't believe what's coming next.